I said yesterday that Nick Brana, the chair of MPP, was under investigation. I had that confirmed yesterday. I didn't have enough to really get into what it was that he was under investigation for. So I spent most of yesterday and all the way till 10 o'clock last night talking to sources investigating that. And I learned that Nick Brana, who is the national chair of MPP, Movement for a People's Party, has been under investigation since December for alleged sexual harassment. I am basically just going to read from the story because this story is more than just the accusation of sexual harassment. There's also other allegations that, I don't know if they're harassment or more than harassment, but to be clear, I reached out to Nick Brana. He didn't respond, so he has had all day to respond. I'd love to, update the story with his response if he denies the allegations. So as somebody who has been on the receiving end of this false accusations against me, I take it very seriously. Obviously, you want to be judicious and fair and give anyone being accused all the time in the world to respond. But I also meticulously went through this, and the facts speak for themselves. So let's get into those facts. Tina, if you'll just stick around for a couple minutes as I read this. So, exclusive. Movement for a People's Party national chair Nick Brana was under investigation for alleged sexual harassment. I should say also, Tina, that this story is a little bit more than just the accusations against him. There seems to be a clear thing here that board members were removed who were
silenced the dissent, so to speak.
Yes, that board members who were calling for certain punishment of Nick Brana were removed. So this is beyond just the accusation against him. There were board members abruptly removed over the weekend on Sunday and Monday, and several of those board members were calling for aggressive penalty, including him being removed as national chair and a board member. So this is sexual harassment accusations, but also a purging seemingly linked to this investigation. Again, I reached out to him. He didn't respond. I'd be happy for him to respond and deny or correct anything. So let's get into this. Multiple sources familiar with Movement for a People's Party, MPP, and by the way, this is on Status Coup's Substack. The link is in the description, so you could read along if you want. Please subscribe to our Substack too. You can become a Substack member for $5 a month. Multiple sources familiar with Movement for a People's Party, which over the years has attempted to build a third party that could run local and federal candidates, told Status Coup that Nick Brana, MPP's national chair, has been under internal investigation since December 2021 after a female subordinate that Brana had at one point had a romantic relationship with made accusations of sexual harassment against him. Status Coup has reviewed documents that confirm the investigation was launched in the middle of December 2021. A special investigation committee, because I use that term a lot, SIC, Special Investigation Committee, consisting of 3 MPP board members, was formed in December to investigate and conduct interviews with Brana, the accuser, and anyone else relevant to the investigation. On December 13th, 2021, the 3 board members who were appointed to serve on the SIC reached out to Brana, informing him of the allegations and trying to set up a time to conduct an interview with him. Quote, I can confirm that I was one of 4 MPP board members serving on a special investigative committee investigating accusations of sexual harassment against MPP chair Nick Brana. Regina Clark, one of 5 MPP board members who were abruptly removed from the board on Sunday, February 20th, so 2 days ago, and Monday, February 21st, told Status Coup. So let me be clear, Tina.
Yeah.
There's 10 board members total. Nick Brana is one of them, and his father, Rodrigo Brana. So there's 10 board members. Nick and his father are 2 of the 10. On Sunday and Monday, half the board was removed.
Wow.
Half the board was removed. I'm going to go further into the story explaining this, but again, half the board was removed, and at least 2 of those at least 2 of those board members were recommending after an investigation that he be removed as national chair and be removed from the board. So that doesn't look good. I'll say that. Okay. Quote, we were removed from the board because we were concerned about Nick remaining in his position, Clark said. This is Regina Clark, one of the people who were removed. As the investigation went on, it was clear there was sexual harassment going on. For other alleged acts, there was a debate on whether it was harassment or extended further. So why that's important is Regina was one of 4 board members who were put on this special committee to investigate. So Regina, she is one that is saying, based on the investigation, there was evidence that, or at least they found the accusations of sexual harassment credible. So that's coming from Regina Clark, who was a board member. She was removed over the weekend along with 4 others, and she was one of the 4 investigating. Nick Brana did not respond to Status Coup's request for comment or a number of questions about the allegations against him. Clark told Status Coup that the Special Investigative Committee originally consisted of 3 MPP board members, but weeks later, concerns mounted that one of the SIC's members was leaking information to Brana. As a result, a 4th member was added to the SIC. Clark detailed a stark evolution of findings and recommendations by the SIC after the group found the accuser's accusations against Brana credible. Originally, Clark said the Special Investigation Committee members planned on making several recommendations: a 6-month probationary period where Brana would have to be free of any type of sexual harassment accusations, take training classes for sexual harassment, participate in workplace supervisory training, and also that he not serve as a one-on-one supervisor to the accuser or anyone else during that 6-month probation period. But as the investigation continued and Brana allegedly retaliated against other MPP staffers, again, allegedly, I've reached out to Nick. He did not respond to questions. As Brana allegedly retaliated against other MPP staffers, 2 out of the 4 members of the SIC escalated their recommendations to calling for Brana to be removed as MPP national chair and board member. So that's kind of important, Tina, because it's kind of like the cover up worse than the crime. Like,
It can be.
Yeah. So originally,
appears.
Originally, this committee was calling for 6-month probation, that he'd take training classes, sexual harassment, workplace training, that the nature of the management, that he can't one-on-one supervise change. But not just Regina, who was on the record, but I spoke with other sources who did share that there was concern that Brana was doing things to retaliate after the investigation was launched. Based on that, they at least I know 2 of the Special Investigation Committee members, they went from, all right, give him a probation and training, to he needs to be removed. So, that's significant.
That is significant.
Through multiple sources, including Clark, Status Coup learned of an abrupt 2 to 3 day period between Saturday, February 19th and Monday, February 21st. So we're talking like 3 days ago, where 5 board members were abruptly removed from MPP's board after they had called for an emergency meeting to go over the findings of the investigation into Brana. Again, that investigation started in December, so it's been going on for about 2 months.
For a while, yeah.
Before the 5 board members' removal, MPP's board had consisted of 10 people, including Nick Brana and his father, Rodrigo Brana, who is co-coordinator of MPP's finance committee. And I found out later, I'll update the story, that he is listed as MPP's treasurer too. So he's not only co-coordinator of their finance committee, he's listed in legal filings as their treasurer. Multiple sources told Status Coup that on Saturday, February 19th, Clark and 4 other board members, Thomas Royko, Todd Jellin, David Fischel, and David Schmelzer, sent a petition to other board members of the partial MPP board. The partial board consisted of 8 out of the 10 board members, minus Nick Brana and Rodrigo Brana. So I was told, essentially, the full board is 10, but anything about this investigation, they were meeting with 8. Obviously, you wouldn't have Nick and his father in meetings pertaining to an investigation into Nick. So Saturday, 5 of the board members reach out to the other 3 board members, including the MPP's general counsel, asking for an emergency meeting the next day to discuss the findings of the investigation into Brana and to make recommendations. The petition sent to the rest of the partial board requested an emergency meeting of the partial board to take place the next day on Sunday, February 20th. So now this is 2 days ago, to discuss the findings of a 2-month investigation into accusations of alleged sexual harassment by Brana against the female subordinate who at one point he was romantically involved with. So I want to be clear, at one point they were romantically involved.
That
no
doesn't
longer.
mean he can't be guilty of sexual harassment. Let's be clear, though.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not saying anything.
You're not. I'm saying that because there
Yeah.
are people in the chat bringing that up as if it's some sort of
Yeah.
way to deflect from that. But there are situations in which you can be involved with somebody, break up, and rape can occur, sexual harassment can occur, all kinds of things can occur. So it doesn't
Right.
necessarily create an environment where that's not going to happen.
Right. Quote, for at least 1 week leading up to our removal, speaking, this is a board member talking about the 5 board members who were removed.
Right.
For at least 1 week leading up to our removal, we've been trying to meet with other board members to settle the findings of this investigation. But those board members either didn't confirm that they couldn't make proposed meeting times or didn't propose alternative times. Clark told Status Coup. Another MPP source confirmed this. There, quote, there was a stalling going on by pro-Brana board members. We kept reaching out to meet since the Super Bowl on February 13th. So I was told this not just about a week-long delay or stalling to have a meeting to discuss the investigation's findings. I was also told that Brana was delaying for a few days to even have an interview with the investigation, with the members of the investigations committee. To be fair, he hasn't gotten back to me, so I would love to hear back from him, and he could deny or confirm anything. So on Sunday, February 20th, the 5 board members who had called for the emergency meeting the day before showed up to the Zoom meeting. But the 3 other members of the partial board, as well as MPP's general counsel, did not join the meeting. Quote, we contacted the lawyer, but he didn't provide a firm answer, Clark said. Within an hour, we received an email from the general counsel informing 4 of us that we were no longer board members after the rest of the board voted to remove us. The reason provided for 3 of us being removed was missing more than 4 board meetings in 12 months. The 4th, David Schmelzer, was listed as having resigned himself. A day later, on Monday, February 21st, so yesterday, David Fischel, who was part of the 5 board members who called for the emergency Sunday meeting, was removed from the board. So that's kind of interesting timing that you just suddenly go through your attendance records and, oh, you guys have missed more than 4 meetings. So we're just going to remove you from the board as you're calling for an emergency meeting to discuss the investigation into the national chair. That's just very interesting timing, Tina. Let's just call it what it is. It sounds like a pretext.
It absolutely does. That is
that's
too coincidental.
Right. And it gets better. Clark added that the crazy thing was that one of the board members who voted to remove her and 3 others, Phil Ateto, had previously resigned from the board before the investigation into Brana began in December 2021. Status Coup asked Brana why Ateto was allowed to vote if he was no longer a board member. I was told this by multiple people that this gentleman, Phil, had resigned already. So I don't know how he's able to vote other board members out if he had resigned from the board.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Clark and another source also noted that several of the board members who voted to remove the 4 other board members for missed board meetings had also missed more than 4 board meetings in a year. So, it looks to me to be a clear pretext. Hey, some of these board members are trying to set up an emergency meeting to finally discuss the findings of an investigation into alleged sexual harassment, and all of a sudden they're all removed. Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.